Well, Isabel, it's this one particular family of nerve agents called Novichok, literally meaning newcomer in Russian. It ties Alexei Navalny, the Kremlin critic, in with the incident that took place in 2018. You'll remember of Sergei Skripal and Yulia Skripal, the former Russian spy and his daughter. And it was at this time, the only confirmed use of Novichok in 2018, that this word entered a lot of our vocabularies. Let's bring you these pictures then from 2018. They show you Salisbury, after Sergei and Yulia Skripal collapsed in the centre of town after dining at an Italian restaurant. A massive operation here, what was a chemical weapons attack described by the UK authorities on their own soil here in Salisbury, a small cathedral city there, not a very large population, became the centre of a geopolitical crisis, really, between Russia and the West. Also, we're seeing there the house of the Skripals, where it's believed the poison was distributed. So I think one thing you're getting, when you look at Google and you understand what we're all searching for, the word Novichok, really no one was talking about it until here, the Skripal poisoning, and later here when a further person, Dawn Sturgis, a person in the UK, died after discovering a vial of the poison believed to have been left over from the attack. So we're expecting this once again to rise up. But what exactly is Novichok? Well, I'm joined now by Professor Alastair Hay. He's a toxicology professor joining us from the UK. Professor Hay, thank you for joining us. I just want to start by asking you, we know with the Skripals, it was said to be on a door handle on their house. Alexei Navalny fell ill on a flight after drinking some tea. How exactly is a Novichok nerve agent used in an attack like this?
Well, the Novichoks, like any nerve agent, can be administered by a variety of routes. You can swallow it, you can breathe it in, it goes through your eyeballs or through your skin. So they're toxic by any route of administration.
And we just saw the pictures there from 2018, the hazmat suits, the real response in Salisbury. Mr. Navalny was on a plane. He travelled through an airport. This obviously happening in Russia. Should there be a similar sort of response, a decontamination effort, now we know Novichok was involved?
Well, that obviously is up to the Russians, and you would want to, given how expensive and detailed the cleanup was in the UK, there would certainly be concern about the airport cafeteria if that was where Mr. Navalny was exposed. You would want to get access to the cup that he might have been using, but of course this is probably in the bin. So there should be some investigation now, certainly, just to make sure that other people are not at risk.
And Professor Hay, we've seen in the past other substances used against Kremlin critics, particularly in the UK. I'm thinking of the poisonings there. Why Novichok? And why, again, have we seen it after what could have been described as an unsuccessful attempt to kill the Skripals?
Well, I think the Novichok chemicals were used in the Skripals because they'd never been used before. They were known to be extremely toxic, that you could administer a tiny dose and that would probably kill someone. So I think the intention was certainly in the Skripals case and in Mr. Navalny's case to kill. I think they were used too because, not having been used before, they were hoping that it would be difficult to detect them. And you need pretty sophisticated equipment to detect them because they're potent in very small concentrations. So this means that their concentration in the blood is very low. And so the ability of most laboratories to find these is very limited. So you need very sophisticated equipment to do that, which is why it was probably the German military laboratory that identified the chemical.
And just very quickly, finally, Professor Hay, why would you say this is now pointing to the Kremlin, Russia having denied there's a link?
Well, unfortunately for Russia, these chemicals were developed and investigated by the former Soviet Union. And what we know in the public domain, and I have to stress here that a lot of the information is very sparse, Russia seems to have had more of an interest in this than anybody else. But Russia, like any other government, needs to control all these chemicals, and the Russian government will be expected, I'm sure, not but just by European governments, by an international inspectorate, the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, to explain this particular incident. So it should concern Russia very much indeed that this chemical was used on Mr. Navalny.